próximamente.
¡Yeehaw!
Suscríbete ahora.
The last several years I've been way behind the curve on getting my winter's firewood ready in time. Seems like I've been out there in December, January, or even later, going deep into the woods down below on my dozer or on my skidder, fighting my way through deep snow, trying to find trees or old tops to drag up to the top of the hill where I can more easily cut and split them. Then of course I've been in the snowbank in sub-zero temperatures, cutting firewood, splitting firewood, hauling firewood. Not such a pleasant task in the winter time. Well, I decided to do things a little different this year. I decided we're getting our firewood done early. I'm not going to be in the snowbank wrestling with this stuff. Not this year. So here I am on my skidder in September. Leaves are still green, imagine that. Anyway, my plan is to head down below. And I still have a bunch of tops down there left over from when I was cutting logs a couple of years ago. So I want to utilize those tops before they rot out in the woods. Kind of clean up the woods, drag out the tops. And my plan is to drag them to the top of the hill and then cut them into blocks, split them right there, throw them in the back of the truck and haul them to the house. My father-in-law Donovan came up to help with the firewood this year, so he's been a big help with splitting and loading the truck, hauling the wood, piling the wood. Been a big help all the way around, so that I really appreciate. Well, here we go, coming up on some hard maple tops. Need to get these babies hooked up and drag them out of here. Get a little bit of firewood out of these things. Get these chokers hooked up. Okay, let me get these babies winched up. I need to move the skidder up ahead and let some line out so I can winch these babies up and get them to line up better behind the skidder. They're kind of all crossed up over here and they won't line up and pull right if I don't get them aligned better behind the skidder. I need to buck some of these branches off of here now so I'm not dragging all the branches up. They can just kind of get left behind here. well, I might as well grab this one on my way by. Get this baby hooked up. There's a couple of tops down in the bottom of this gully here. I'm gonna drag my cable out and winch them up also. I'm gonna pull a lot of extra cable out here so I don't have to pull the friction on the winch plus the weight of the cable and all that when I'm dragging it a long distance. Get a little extra slack in there. Tell you, it's pretty good exercise going up and down these hills, dragging that winch cable back and forth. Okay, there we go. So the brake on my winch just started slipping when I got a heavy load on it. It slips and the cable comes out. And the tops will start dragging on the ground and getting all dirty. So I got this short chain and I hook it to the last choker to hold it so the cable won't slip and come out and drag my tops on the ground. Just kind of a workaround. I really need to take this winch apart and see what's going on, if the brake needs adjustment or if it needs new pads or whatnot. I gotta get it fixed, but I gotta get the firewood done first, so I'll look at it later. So away we go, up to the top of the hill. So upon reviewing the play, when I shifted and went from second to third gear, the cable got just enough slack in it to pop the hook off of my chain, and now my winch cable is slipping and the load is getting dragged behind the skidder. And me up there, fat, dumb, and happy, thinking the tops are right behind the skidder, and look how far they're getting left behind. Getting nice and dirty, so I get to sharpen my chainsaw after cutting every block of wood. So now I get to the skidway, And I get off the skidder and I go to unhook my load, and where the heck's my load? Oh, there it is, way back there. Huh. Nice. Well, I just set the wheel brakes on the skidder and just started winching them up. Might as well, they're already dirty. There we go. Now I can unhook them. Well, away we go, back into the woods. I gotta find some more treetops to drag out. Don't have nearly enough up there yet. I really need to start bringing my cant hook into the woods to make it easier to get these chokers underneath these logs and tops and whatnot. It's kind of a pain when they're sitting tight on the ground. Get the choker slipped in there. me grab this other one when I'm going by here. Sure is pretty in the woods today. I can't think of a better place to be. Let me get these babies unhooked. Well, let me get back down there and grab a few more. Still got a long ways to go. Well, I got several tops in this area ripe for the picking. Well, time to get another workout. Got a ways to drag this cable. Come on. That cable gets pretty heavy when you get a little farther away from the skidder. There she comes. get out there and buck these branches off this thing. Well, I'm pulling a little bit too much laterally on this thing. If I keep trying to pull it from the side like this, I'm going to pull the skidder right over on its side. So I'm going to have to straighten the skidder out a little bit before I can pull this thing out of there. Yeah, well, let me try it here. See how it's gonna do. No, not quite. You have to turn it a little bit more. There we go, much better. Well, I gotta move this skidder again. I need a better angle to winch these things out onto the trail. Well, there goes my camera. Man down, man down. I need to get this skidder turned around and pointed in the right direction before I can winch these tops up tight. Once you get the logs winched right up tight to the skidder, you can't back up anymore. So whatever backing up you're gonna do, you better do it before you get them winched up tight. Yeehaw, right 'em cowboy. She's trying to tip over on me. Went right to the limits of the forward axle and stopped on the limit. I'm just pushing it back over with the blade. There we go. That'll get your attention. Now that I got the skidder lined up on the trail, I can winch these logs up tight to the back of the skidder and get them dragged up the hill. And winching up a couple more. And winching another one down off the hillside. That's a beautiful sight. Cluster of logs ready to go up the hill. Oh yeah, nice. Beautiful. So up on the rooftop of my skidder, I've got two cameras on magnetic mounts, one pointed forward and one pointed backwards. The rear camera got spun around by a branch here, and then another branch came around, knocked it off the rooftop, and I drove right over it with the rear tire of the skidder. Beautiful. So I had my GoPro in a protective case, and it didn't really get hurt, but the battery pack took a little bit of collateral damage. Looks like it's pretty much done for. $6 right down the drain. Now rolling back up to the garage here, and Donovan's hard at work, stacking wood in the back of the truck. El Cocolate. Yep, I think it's time for a cinquito.
Thank you and good night.